I don't even know where to start with this one, because what happened Sunday night wasn't just a loss. It was an unraveling, a public meltdown broadcast for the whole world to see. And if you've been a Browns fan for any length of time, you know pain. You've seen heartbreak. But this was something else entirely. This was humiliation. This was national TV ridicule. This was the kind of game that doesn't just sting for a week. It sticks with a franchise for years. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Browns' offense looked completely lifeless. Dillon Gabriel, the guy Kevin Stefanski handpicked, the quarterback this coaching staff insisted was their guy, looked like he didn't belong out there. 50 pass attempts. 50. And what do we have to show for it? Barely over 220 yards, no touchdowns, no spark, no energy, just fear, panic, checkdowns. It was like watching a quarterback trying to survive instead of compete. Every third and long, dump off. Every blitz, panic throw to the flats. Pittsburgh didn't even disguise their defense, man. They were daring him to throw deep, begging him to take a shot. And he just wouldn't. You could see the fear. You could feel it. By the fourth quarter, Steelers defenders were literally laughing. Cameras caught it. They were mocking him. Mocking us. I've covered this game for years, and I can't remember another time when an entire defense was openly ridiculing a quarterback mid-game on national TV.
Tired of boring phone cases? Here's your chance. My Etsy shop is packed with exclusive designs that let you show off your team pride in style. And the best part? You'll unlock discounts when you hit favorite, more savings when you add to cart, and even surprise discounts on your second purchase. Don't wait. Click the link in the description and grab your favorite now.
That's where we are now. Let's build a totem pole together. Like, subscribe, and comment. If this video gets 1,000 likes, we'll be making our voices heard by the coaches for Shedeur to be the starting QB1. Let's do it. And when the dust settled, the outrage that followed was unlike anything I've ever seen from this fan base. The moment that game ended, the floodgates opened. Social media turned into a war zone. Browns fans didn't just vent, they revolted. Dillon Gabriel's name was trending across the country, and not for anything good. Memes, clips, breakdowns. It was chaos. People were posting side-by-side comparisons of Gabriel and Brandon Wheaton. One viral post said, "We traded Joe Flacco for this." Another one said, "Start Shedeur Sanders before this season dies." And honestly, I get it. I've been in this city. I've felt this fan base. Browns fans aren't just mad. They're heartbroken. Because this team, this roster, is too damn good to be held hostage by stubborn coaching and bad quarterback play. The defense is elite. Top tier in the league. The line is solid. The weapons are there. But all of that means nothing when your quarterback refuses to throw beyond the sticks. And now the problem isn't just online outrage. It's leaking into the locker room. I'm hearing things. Guys are frustrated. You've got linemen holding blocks, only to watch Gabriel dump the ball off 2 seconds later. Receivers running clean routes, getting open downfield, and never getting the look. I'm told one veteran literally said, "Why are we blocking if he won't throw?" That's how bad it's gotten. After the game, a defensive captain reportedly confronted Gabriel. And yeah, Stefanski denied it. But insiders say it absolutely happened. And here's the thing. Once a locker room loses faith in its quarterback, it's already over. You can't coach that back. The guys know it. The players have seen Shedeur Sanders in practice. They've seen the arm, the poise, the timing, the leadership. Word around the facility is that veterans are literally going to coaches asking for a change. They're saying it out loud now, "Start Shedeur." Even some of the assistants reportedly agree. They know who gives them the better shot. But Stefanski, he won't budge. He keeps saying the same thing in every press conference. Dillon gives us the best chance to win. That's become a punchline now. Fans are looping it over circus music online. Podcasts are mocking it. Because, come on, at this point, nobody believes that. Not the players, not the fans, not even the national media. And the national spotlight has turned vicious. Stephen A. Smith flat out called it coaching malpractice. Skip Bayless, who never agrees with Stephen A. on anything, actually agreed this time. Colin Cowherd said the Browns are tanking their own season out of sheer stubbornness. Even RG3 chimed in, tweeting, "You throw it 50 times for 220 yards and 0 TDs. That's not an offense, that's a meltdown." The narrative is everywhere now. This isn't a small market story anymore. This is national embarrassment. And I'll be real with you. It hurts to say this, but they're right. Because what we're watching isn't just bad football. It's pride. It's ego. It's a coach doubling down on a mistake instead of fixing it. Every sign points to Shedeur being the better quarterback. Everyone knows it. And yet, week after week, we're told to trust the process. Trust what exactly? Meanwhile, the fan base has completely unified. I haven't seen anything like this. Thousands of fans changed their profile pictures to Shedeur Sanders. Hashtags like "Runners Start Shedeur" and "Runner Let Shedeur Cook" are trending every Sunday. People are making posters, mock campaign ads, even fake "Missing Browns Offense" graphics with Gabriel's face in the middle. This isn't trolling, it's a movement. It's the fan base drawing a line in the sand. And honestly, I can't even blame them. Because this team should be competing for a division title right now. This defense alone could carry them deep into the playoffs. But what's happening instead? We're wasting another season. Not because of injuries, not because of talent, but because of refusal to adapt. Because one man at the top is too proud to admit he got it wrong. Every week that Dillon Gabriel starts, the Browns lose a little more of themselves. The fans get angrier. The locker room gets colder. The belief drains out of that building one snap at a time. And the worst part? The answer is sitting right there on the sideline. Calm, focused, ready. Shedeur Sanders isn't sulking. He's not complaining. He's preparing. And when his moment finally comes, if it comes, it could change everything. Because this team doesn't need a miracle. They just need a quarterback who believes he belongs. Now, when I first saw this, I had that same reaction a lot of you probably did. Like, wait, what? Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me, because honestly, it doesn't make sense to me, at all, to trade a quarterback that you thought highly enough of to start on opening day. To a division rival that's desperate for help at that exact position. You don't see that. You just don't. It breaks every unwritten rule in the NFL book. And yet the Browns did it. And the fallout? Oh, it's nuclear. See, here's where this thing really explodes. Mike Tomlin, a guy who's been in the league for decades, who learned under Tony Dungy, who never calls anyone out publicly, went on live television and straight up called out Andrew Berry by name. By name. And if you know how this league works, that's unheard of. That's a coach breaking the code. Because in the NFL, there's a code of conduct that every coach and every GM understands. You don't do that. You don't air dirty laundry in public. You don't take shots at other organizations. And you absolutely do not call a front office executive by name. But Mike Tomlin did. And that tells you just how bad things have gotten in Cleveland. When I first saw the clip, I had to replay it a few times. Tomlin said, Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. That's Mike Tomlin saying, this move is insane. And when a coach like him, who has spent his entire career preaching professionalism, discipline, and culture, when he breaks the code like that, you know he's making a point. He wasn't just talking about Joe Flacco. He was talking about culture, about philosophy, about what separates winners from losers. And one of the analysts sitting right next to him said it perfectly. That's the difference between the Steelers' culture and the Browns' culture. The Steelers are trying to win. And man, that stung. You could feel it, because that's what this is really about. It's about two completely different mindsets inside the AFC North. See, in Pittsburgh, everything is about winning. It doesn't matter if it's ugly. It doesn't matter if it's gritty. They play to win. Every decision they make reflects that. But in Cleveland, right now, it looks like they're just trying to survive. The Browns are trading away quarterbacks mid-season like they're dealing baseball cards. They're sitting on what might be the worst contract in NFL history. They're imploding. And Tomlin saw it happening and basically said, "This is not how a professional football organization should be run." And I gotta be honest, he's not wrong. Because think about it. The Browns just traded their opening day starting quarterback to a division rival. That's unheard of. You don't strengthen a team you're supposed to be competing against. You don't help them get better. You especially don't do it when you're supposed to be in a playoff race. Mike Tomlin's sitting there going, "Why are you helping one of our division rivals? Why are you giving them ammunition?" And the thing is, a lot of people in the league agree with him. But then came the conspiracy theories. And I'll be real with you, they're not as crazy as they sound. Because one analyst dropped something that hit me right between the eyes. He said Andrew Berry didn't make that decision. He executed it. That decision came from somebody else higher up. And when you think about how weird and self-sabotaging this move was, it kind of makes sense. Because there's no way a GM who's supposed to be fighting for his job would just hand over a quarterback to a division rival unless someone above him told him to do it. And here's the part that's even more insane. Maybe Mike Tomlin knew that. Maybe his comments weren't really aimed at Andrew Berry at all. Maybe he was firing a warning shot to the people behind the curtain, the ones really pulling the strings in Cleveland. Because Tomlin's been around long enough to know how this business works. And if he decided to go public like that, it's because he wanted those people to hear him loud and clear. What you're doing is not how winning organizations operate. Now let's talk about why this hit such a nerve. Because it's not just about Joe Flacco. It's about the Browns' entire identity. Let's be real, this organization has been an absolute mess. The Deshaun Watson trade has crippled them financially. That contract, $230 million fully guaranteed, is eating up their cap and destroying their flexibility. They mortgaged their entire future for a guy who hasn't been healthy, hasn't played well, and now has the entire fan base asking, what in the world were we thinking? And if you look around the league, it's being called the worst trade in NFL history. Even worse than the Herschel Walker deal, because at least that trade helped build a dynasty in Dallas. The Watson trade. It's left Cleveland in ruins. They gave up 6 premium draft picks, 3 firsts, 2 thirds, and a 4th, for a quarterback who hasn't been remotely close to his former self. And to make matters worse, the guy they moved on from, Baker Mayfield, is now in Tampa Bay, balling out, sitting at the top of the NFC and in the MVP conversation. Let that sink in. The Browns dumped their former #1 overall pick, who played through injury, who fought for that city, and now he's thriving somewhere else. Meanwhile, they're still cleaning up the ashes from that decision. And this is what really gets me. Teams like the Broncos and 49ers made huge quarterback mistakes too, but they recovered. They bounced back. They found new guys, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, and they're competing again. The Browns? They're stuck. There's no escape, because that Watson contract is an anchor dragging the whole franchise down. And here's where Mike Tomlin's explosion ties it all together. Because when he went off like that, it wasn't just a jab at a rival GM. It was a warning. He was basically saying, this is not what winning teams do. This is not what champions look like. And deep down, I think he said what a lot of NFL insiders have been thinking for a long time. The Browns aren't trying to win right now. They're just trying to survive. But here's the problem. In the NFL, not trying to win is the fastest way to destroy your franchise. You can't tank your way to greatness. The Chiefs didn't. The Ravens didn't. The 49ers didn't. The teams that build dynasties do it the right way. They draft well. They develop their players, and they stick to a culture of accountability. The Browns? They've been tearing everything down every 2 years for 2 decades. They've become the cautionary tale of what happens when you panic instead of plan. And now, the future of the entire franchise might depend on one name: Shedeur Sanders. Because while Cleveland's front office is burning the house down, there's a generational quarterback prospect out there who might be the only person capable of saving them. Shedeur is everything the Browns don't have: composure, leadership, and a winner's mentality. He's been playing under insane pressure since day one. Every throw he makes, every game he plays, the cameras are on him. And yet he just keeps producing. That's the kind of mental toughness Cleveland needs more than anything right now. Now, I know what people say about Shedeur, that he's overhyped because of his dad, that he won't translate to the NFL, that he holds the ball too long. And yeah, he's got flaws. He's not perfect. But here's the thing. This kid wins. He's a culture changer. He did it at Jackson State. He's doing it at Colorado. He took two programs that were afterthoughts and turned them into must-see TV. And you don't do that by accident. You do it by having it. And that's what makes this next chapter for the Browns so fascinating and so terrifying. Because they're going to have a real shot at drafting Shedeur Sanders in 2025. Their record's bad enough. Their roster's messy enough. The opportunity is there. But the question is, will they learn from their mistakes, or will they screw it up again? If I'm Shedeur, I'd be cautious. Because walking into Cleveland right now would be like walking into a haunted house of bad decisions. But at the same time, maybe he's the one guy bold enough to take that challenge head on. Because he's been under the spotlight his entire life. He knows pressure. He knows how to lead when everyone's doubting him. And that's exactly what the Browns need. A quarterback who's not afraid of the weight that comes with wearing that jersey. But Cleveland can't just draft him and expect magic. They have to build around him. Commit to him. Protect him. Develop him. Do what Kansas City did with Mahomes. Do what Baltimore did with Lamar. Do what Houston's doing with C.J. Stroud. Stop chasing shortcuts. Stop overpaying for broken promises. Start building something real. And here's my honest take. If the Browns pass on Shedeur Sanders, if they convince themselves Deshaun Watson still has something left, if they try to get cute and take another big swing instead of doing it the right way, they'll deserve every bit of the criticism that's coming. Because at some point, failure stops being bad luck and starts being a choice. Mike Tomlin called them out because he sees what's happening. He broke the code because he couldn't stay silent anymore. Because what Cleveland's doing right now isn't just bad for them, it's bad for the game. And unless something changes fast, this will go down as one of the most self-destructive stretches in NFL history.